Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyana. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva manusandadhami Bhagvad Gite Bhavatveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. The 13th Adhyaya of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Kshetradnya Vibhag Yoga, and Sri Krishna has beautifully explained to us this entire, the process, how the Purusha projects Prakriti, and in order to have the experience of what is this Prakriti, what happens when the Kshetra comes into effect, when the Prakriti brings in forth the Kshetra, how that, the beings, how the creatures, how her creation starts enjoying the things that she has created, start experiencing that pleasure and pain. Now, Purusha is beyond all this, but Purusha also feels like having a taste of that experience. So what happens? Having created the Kshetra, the Jivatman, which is none other than the Paramatman itself, the Jivatman starts dwelling in this cage of flesh and bones. And in a way, indirectly, as this cage of flesh and bones starts experiencing the pleasures and pains, the joys and sorrows of this life, of this creation, that Jivatman also starts experiencing the same. And what happens to this Jivatman? Is it ever satisfied, or it remains unsatisfied and keeps on coming back and forth, or having experienced the pleasures and pain once, goes back to his original abode, the Paramatman? Sri Krishna told us in this 21st verse that we read yesterday. Purushaha prakrutisthohi bhunkte prakriti jan gunan. This Purusha, this ultimate Paramatman, the ultimate Tattva, the ultimate divine entity, which is seated in Prakriti now. Now he has created Prakriti, but he abides in the Prakriti. Prakriti is, Krishna told us, Prakriti is no way separate from Purusha. They are both Anadi. And there cannot be two Anadis. There can be only one Anadi. So Purusha and Prakriti basically are one and the same thing, like two sides of the same coin. Purusha also dwells in the Prakriti. So, seated in Prakriti, Purusha starts experiencing the gunas born out of Prakriti. Because of the gunas which are born out of Prakriti, Purusha also starts experiencing the pleasure and pain. Because that is the intention, that is the content, because of which this whole the game has started, the whole play has started. Purusha sukha dukkhanam bhoktritve. He wants to experience. Now that Prakriti has come into effect, let me see what is good, what is bad. Let me see what is pleasurable, what is painful. Let me see what is joyous, what is sorrowful. And then what happens? Purusha prakrutistho hi bhunkte prakriti jan gunam. Purusha wants to experience out of the gunas which are born out of Prakriti. Karanam guna sangosya sat sat yoni janmasu. Now, what happens as a result of this feeling of experiencing the pleasure and pain? Now, practically, even the Jivatman which is seated in our heart of hearts, Jivatman is not doing anything because Jivatman is actionless. But through this Kshetra, through this body of flesh and bones and the internal faculties of mind and intellect, we keep on doing all sorts of things. We keep on getting all sorts of experiences, the pleasurable, the painful, and so does the Jivatman. Now what happens? Karanam gunasangosya. Now this Jivatman, it gets attached, sort of. Although it is the Paramatman is non-attached, but in order to experience the pleasure and pain, this Jivatman, the indweller, gets attached to these gunas and starts enjoying, starts laughing, starts crying, starts jumping, starts weeping. All these things, they happen with this indweller too, as the body is suffering or as the body is in that ecstatic phase. So what Sri Krishna now tells us, Karanam gunasangosya, having got attached to the guna, sat asat yoni janmasu, depending on the type of actions that this kshetra produces, this Jivatman also, sat asat yoni janmasu, keeps on taking birth according to the karma, either in a good womb or a bad womb, either in a pious and holy womb or in a wretched and the heinous, sinful womb. So that is how the jiva's transmigration from one kshetra to another kshetra continues. So this entire happening, this entire process, Sri Krishna explained to us in the 21st shloka, how this transmigration from one body to another, from one body to either good or bad, either through good or bad birth, it happens with the Jivatman. Now what next? What is the next then? Jivatman is going on and on and on in this cycle of birth and death, in this cycle of life and death. So what is next? Is there no respite? Is there no way to come out of it? Is there no way to get liberated from this whole rigmarole? Sri Krishna is telling us in the 22nd shloka that we are going to read today. Upadrashānumantā ca bhartā bhoktā maheśvarah paramātmeti cāpyukto dehe'sminpurushah parah. Upadrashta is spectator, the witness. Anumantā, the permitter, who allows things to happen. Upadrashta anumantā ca. He is the spectator, he is the witness, as well as he is the permitter to perform these actions. He is permitter for the body to commit the actions, good or bad. Bhartā bhoktā maheśvarah. Bhartā is supporter, bhoktā is enjoyer, maheśvarah, the great Lord. That great Lord is the cause of all this. He is the supporter of the body performing all the good and bad actions. At the same time, he is also witness. He is watching everything. Although he himself is not involved in any of the part of these karmas, he is watching. He is upadrashta. He is a witness. He is a spectator. Bhartā is, he is also supporting. He is supporting it. With his consent, everything is happening as if. And he is the bhoktā. He is the enjoyer. He is the experiencer. that great Lord, the Parabrahman, the Paramatman. Paramātmeti cāpyukto, Paramatma iti cha api uktaha. What is said? Uktaha is called, this Paramatman, this also is called as the Paramatman, the Supreme Self. Dehe'sminpurushah parah. In the body, dehe'asmin, in this body, Purushah parah. The same Supreme Purusha is there dwelling inside this body, who is causing all this havoc to happen, who is causing all this the karma to happen. So this is what, although the body is performing, who is ultimately getting it done and how it is getting done. So Sri Krishna is telling us that the Supreme Purusha in this body is also called the Spectator, the one who permits the things to happen, the supporter, the one who experiences the great Lord and the Supreme Self. So he is playing all these roles. It is the same entity, the same tattva, the same ultimate divinity, which is playing all these roles, bringing forth the prakriti bringing forth the jivas and carrying the jivatman in them, with jivatman dwelling inside the jivas. All this action part, the karma part is going on, and that supreme being, that fellow, that ultimate guy, what is he doing? He is witnessing. He is also supporting this happening. He is also experiencing what the experiences, this body and the mind and the senses and the intellect, the physical and the internal faculties, all these things, what they are doing. He is the ultimate experiencer. Because of the intent of experiencing this pleasure and pain, he has done all this thing. So he is the great Lord. What is who is behind all this action? Who is behind all this drama? Who is behind all this happening on the stage, on this show on the stage? Manifold are activities taking place in the human body. Now, we consider ourselves as one individual, isn't it? I am Satvik, so and so. But this individuality has got so many facets attached to it. It has got Jivatman. As it is, the body is comprised of 5 koshas. The Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, Anandamaya kosha. We are not just one individual as such, for that matter. The Jivatman, enshrouded in ignorance, imagine himself to be the author of this all doing. Now the Jivatman is trapped in the net of Mahamaya. Jivatman is trapped in that veil of ignorance and starts thinking, I am enjoying this, I want to enjoy this, I want to do this, I want to do that. No, Jivatman has got no ability to perform anything. That poor guy has only to perform the role of a spectator, of a witness, of upadrashta. But at the same time, since the inclination is towards getting that experience, he also becomes bhoktā. He also becomes the enjoyer, the experiencer of whatever is happening. He cannot avoid it. The Jivatman, enshrouded in ignorance, imagines himself the author of thereof. But the fact is, this Jivatman is merely a reflection of the great Lord enshrined in the body. Jivatman has got no capability. He is beyond basically, but under that spell of ignorance, the Jivatman thinks, I am the author of this drama. Drama has already been written, authored by somebody. You are not the author at all. You are just performing your role. You have come here to perform your role. You are not the author at all. Hmm? And his glories are as follows. Now, what are the glories of this Jivatman who is playing this role? Who is playing this role of the author? He is the upadrashta. He is the spectator. Just something happening over there. I am looking at it. I am just witnessing it. Do I get really involved in it? No. I am not part of that drama. But I become one with that. In a way, emotionally, sentimentally. If we are watching some comedy movie, suddenly whatever is happening there on the screen makes us feel laugh, rolling on the floor, as they say, ROFL and all that. Laugh out loud, LOL. Something happening. We are just watching it and we are reacting to it, and we feel we are part of it. All these reactions, we laugh, we just get into that bout of heavy laughter. We just feel we are part of it. We want to be part of it, and we express that desire of being a part of it by this reaction of a big laugh. Some tragedy is going on, tragic scene. And what is our reaction? All the tears flowing down. We keep on wiping the tears with that handkerchief. Now, are we in any way affected by that? Are we involved in that? No, we are just the spectators, but still with that veil of ignorance, we become one and part and parcel of that scene, that tragic scene which is going on the screen. And we start showing all those reactions. The person who witnesses the game, or the person who acts as referee, is able to see better into the orderliness and fouls in the game. Now, this is another explanation of being a drashta. A match is going on, the referees are there, the umpires are there. Now, some of the umpires, they may be great players themselves, like Venkatragavan. Now, when this person is performing that role of being umpire, and if some batsman of the opposite side, for that matter, I mean, even umpires, they have got some kind of biasness. They are not supposed to be. But if that batsman is not getting out, the bowler inside that umpire, Venkatragavan, might be thinking, oh, why can't he bowl it like this? He should turn the ball. He should try that spot from that spot. But as an umpire, he can't get involved. He has to just look at the things that are happening. Don't get involved. Just see what is happening. And this is what happens with the Lord. The Lord, residing in the human heart, witnesses whatever is taking place. The Lord is not going to interfere in whatever is happening. The Lord is also not going to react in the way that things are happening. Like we start crying at the moment we start seeing the tragic scene. So these are now all the different roles that the Lord wants to play, having dwelled inside this prison, having taken the role of indweller in this cage of flesh and bone. He is also Anumantā. He is the one who permits. He permits all these things to happen. To one who has no ear for music, a fine melody in classical music is no more than a meaningless sound. One who doesn't know anything about the music. A beautiful singer, a lovely performer, say Kumar Gandharva, is performing that Raga Bhageshri or something. But if a person who doesn't have any inclination, who doesn't have any knowledge, who doesn't have any interest in the field of music, for him, oh, what is this fellow doing? His approval or permission for the musical performance to go on counts for nothing. He will say that the person who has no knowledge will say, let it go on. What am I to do? Why should I get disturbed by it? Why should I interfere in it? Let it go. That program people are enjoying, let them enjoy, although I have got nothing to do with it. Whereas with an expert critic who enjoys that melody, pleads for its continuance, there is pleasure and purpose in that act. But one who knows the music, one who is an expert, one who can identify which raga, one who enjoys listening to this soulful, hearty music, he will say, let it continue. That permission is different. The ignorant one, he has got nothing to do with, he is not interested, what is happening, he is not bothered. But the one who is an expert, he will say, wonderful, what a beautiful singing. He will, if a match is going on, the person who is interested in the match, he will say, oh wow, what a wonderful game is going on. Let it continue. So likewise, he is the Hanumantā, the expert who is allowing things to happen. So this is what happens in case of this Jivatman also. Let it happen. Let us see what happens. Who wins? It is going to be an interesting game. So he is the witness. He is the Hanumantā. He is the bhartā. He is also the supporter. All these spectators who come to the stadium to witness the game, how crazily, how fondly they keep on supporting their teams, isn't it? He is the supporter. More important than witnessing a play and approving of it is to materially aid and support it. You know, sitting in front of TV, we keep on clapping when our favorite batsman hits 4. But at the same time, if we are there in the stadium and the same favorite batsman of ours hits a 4 or a 6, what happens? We just, you know, express our joy. We become part of that process. The cameraman also zooms his camera onto the crowd. He makes them as a part of this entire game. So, in a way, although not directly involved with the game, the supporters, they also become part of the game. Bhartā. And of course, the bhoktā, one who experiences. So see, this Lord dwelling inside, he is performing these 4 roles. The indweller in this cage of flesh and bone, he is performing these roles. He is performing the role of a spectator. He is performing the role of a permitter. He allows things to happen. Like a great exponent of the music who is listening to a wonderful musical program saying, let it continue. Once more. He is the permitter, Hanumantā. Then he is bhartā. He is the supporter. He encourages things to happen. He gives all his support, and he is also the bhoktā. He is the ultimate experience. And who is this? He is the maheśvarah. He is the ultimate Lord. He is the Supreme Lord, the Lord of Lords, the paramātmeti, the parabrahman. So this is how now Sri Krishna says, why this thing has come into effect? Because the paramātmeti, because this maheśvarah wants to play all these roles. He has brought into effect. He has projected this prakriti and the Kshetra to have that experience also. Sri Ramakrishna has given a wonderful explanation on this. Sri Ramakrishna says, the universe has come into being as a result of the union of the Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha projects itself as Prakriti, and the union of Purusha and Prakriti becomes this creation. And do you know how it functions? The master of the family is seated somewhere absorbed in some serious thought. The housewife busies herself running here and there and attending to all the details of the affairs of the house. Exactly this is what happens in this creation. Purusha is aloof. He is sitting like the master of the family. Purusha is sitting somewhere in his own sweet thoughts, in his own divine thoughts. And it is the housewife who is the Shakti of the house. She is performing all these actions. She's running here, there. Oh, my son is getting ready. I have to prepare this. I have to clean this. I have to wash the clothes. How many duties this housewife does? Always busy, always busy, always busy. And still we say, I'm not doing anything. I'm just a housewife. What a parody. So, Sri Ramakrishna gives this example. The master of the house is sitting somewhere quietly. It is the housewife who is running around doing this, that. Now and then she acquaints her husband with what is taking place here and there and seeks his counsel too when necessary. Now this man, aram se, he's sitting in one corner, in some aloof corner, he doesn't know. But the housewife, she is constantly giving him a feedback. Sunoji, this is what is happening. Do you hear? This is what is happening. This son is doing like this. The daughter is doing like this. Can we do this? She sometimes seeks the counsel also. And this fellow, like that. The man approves of what has taken place already. Now, because he is not part of the action at all. It is his wife who has been doing all the... She is slogging from morning till night, just to maintain that household. She is doing everything. And this fellow says, yeah, go on. Whatever you are doing, wonderful. Go ahead. You want some money? Okay, take it from there. So he is that way. He is just a spectator, but at the same time, he supports her. He watches what is happening. He also gives his wise counsel at times. And then he sees his family is running so smoothly. The man approves of what has taken place already and suggests what ought to take place next. It is in this way that Purusha and Prakriti function. What a beautiful example Sri Ramakrishna has given on how this entire creation is working. How this entire game of Purusha and Prakriti is taking place. Like the master of the house and the housewife. That was a beautiful teaching of Sri Krishna and a most apt, most wonderful example quoted by Sri Ramakrishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami.